planet Earth, the only known planet that contains life.
About 80,000 bees.
80,000 bees, oh my God.
Nature.
It's incredible.
Especially the springtime right now. It's just absolutely stunning.
The earliest forms of life existed around 3.7 billion years ago. We have existed maybe 0.001% of that time.
Anybody studying coral reefs now is more writing an obituary.
Earth has experienced mass extinctions.
It's quiet.
It's quite quiet, yeah.
Asteroid strikes, extreme climate changes before, and recovered in new forms with new species. So while it's a given that nature will persevere, it's not a given that we will. That's up to us.
How do we intervene to make a better future?
We have to have more solutions, not only one.
It's amazing, the little worm that can actually dissolve plastic.
I'm staying optimistic that we will be able to preserve the natural beauties of the world.
I'm a father to two beautiful daughters. I'm also a husband, a son, a friend, an avid table tennis player, an actor.
Jamie Lannister on the roommate.
I'm a human being. As a species, whatever we imagined, we created. We believed the resources of nature were endless. We were wrong. This show is about solutions and the people behind them. My name is Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, and this is An Optimist's Guide to the Planet.
All right, Karen, so where are we going now?
We are driving on a motorway, heading to Fukushima.
I've arrived in Japan to visit an area devastated by an ecological disaster. To see how both nature and humans are responding, and what that might teach us all about resilience and survival.
We're here. That's where we are. And this is where the nuclear reactor, yeah. Were you in Japan when the big earthquake hit?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and day after day, I just went to North Shore around here, and I saw the many dead bodies.
Devastation.
Yes, and many dead bodies, and it's kind of a disaster, yes, world. So, yeah, it's a bad memory for me.
In 2011, a tsunami triggered by a massive earthquake caused a meltdown at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant.
But people still live here, or not?
No, but that was like 12 years ago, so this town, I think, has opened up.
Okay.
So people have come back.
Oh, look how beautiful. Look how the cherries in bloom. Oh.
Those are bags of contaminated.
That's all.
Yeah, these are all waste. Nuclear waste, not nuclear waste.
insane.
But then those are the ones that contaminated. So they took them and put them in a bag and contained them in the bags.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So this has basically been going for 12 years then. Cleaning. Are we 100% safe here?
Yes. As long as we're not going
So
behind the barricade.
You cuffed when you say safe.
More than 18,000 people lost their lives, and the radiation displaced more than 100,000. Since then, many have returned, but large areas near the power plant are still closed off due to radioactive contamination.
William?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. It's very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. I'm Nikolaj. Well, I'm also William. That's my second name.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know that. You could call me William, you could call me Billy.
All right.
That's what my parents call me. I'm actually Canadian myself, so born and raised in Vancouver, Canada.
Your mother or your father's Japanese?
My mother is Japanese, so I've spoken both languages all my life, fortunately.
Why did you move to Japan?
Well, I just wanted to be involved in connecting cultures, I guess. And, you know, I had the gift of being having deep roots in both cultures, and I also had the language ability, so.
What is this structure I'm standing on?
This structure was it's a newly built structure, actually. It's a seawall that they built to prevent tsunami waves, to slow them down. For the longest time, many people believed that there would never be a big tsunami to hit this area.
They underestimated the power of nature.
Yes.
So there's one structure left here.
There is one structure left here.
And that's the school?
Yes. I actually used to teach at that school.
This is 11, 12 years ago. You're still here. Why is that?
I'm Canada's biggest fan of Fukushima, right? I just love this place so much. I really felt this was an area that I wanted to stay for the rest of my life.
Well, let's go in.
Let's go in.
And I understand there's a fee to get in, right?
Yes, there is, yeah.
Do you have any money? Steve? Scott? No. John, you got some money, right?
Thank you. Can
I have 7?
So it'd be 2,100 yen?
2,100 yen.
So right there, that's how high the tsunami waves came. That was the height of the water, so.
Oh my God.
So basically, yeah, covered the whole first floor of this building.
So this has basically been left
the way it was, yeah.
the way it was.
So there were 82 kids, yes. 82 kids were here, and then there were also a lot of faculty as well and staff members. They all survived. If you peek in, you'll see that the setup that they had for the graduation ceremony that day is still there. A lot of the kids, they never saw each other again after this because after the initial evacuation, they were all put into different temporary housings, different gymnasiums. Many of them moved away from this area.
It's just overwhelming. It's like it's so horrific that they get this tsunami and you have thousands of people being killed and displaced and homes destroyed, and then to imagine that for a second you go, okay, we survived this, and we go back and we're going to try to rebuild, and then
the unthinkable happens. The tsunami overflows the nuclear power plant and deadly radiation is released.
now you have to leave, and you will never come back, or at least not for years. That's, unfathomable.
We are driving, we're going to an area that's been closed off for the past 12 years.
Such a beautiful country.
It really is, yeah. I know so many people who can't do this drive because it just hurts them too much. 12 years, it's too painful. And that's why they've made the choice to not return to a certain community.
They've decided to move on.
Start their lives in a different place.
And we're just passing these farms, and if I didn't know, I would think they were working farms, but I can obviously see it's a little overgrown. So I think this sign is basically saying, stay away. There's a beautiful river. Oh, man. It's just, it's so beautiful and so strange to think that the whole ground, everything is has heightened levels of radiation. nature is incredibly resilient and will overcome anything, even nuclear destruction. And there's nothing that's as powerful as this life.
As impressed as I am by nature's ability to regenerate, I am equally impressed by the Japanese people's insistence on rebuilding. It reminds me that we are part of nature too, and carry its resilience within us.
Ah, Katsumi.
Well, お世話になります。
そうなります。
Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Nikolaj.
あ、ニコライです。
よろしくお願いします。
マクマイケルと申します。よろしくお願いいたします。
And you're making flowers.
こちらでお花を栽培されてるんですか？
そうですね。
Yes, yes.
That's beautiful.
ゲド地区の場合、地震の後津波があって。
He first witnessed his house and his property being washed away by the tsunami waves, and he lost everything. And then he was suddenly told to just get out and not able to come back.
で来れないっていう感覚がなかったので。
For him, he actually never really got too negative about it. He was always firm in his belief that he was going to come back here.
So why are you growing flowers and not vegetables?
ちょうど基調宣言があった。
When there were orders for people to come back, there were still some regulations against planting food items. He felt that maybe flowers would be better because that way there'd be less reputational damage. People would be more comfortable with purchasing flowers from this area as opposed to food products. For him, because he's a farmer, right? He always had a very strong attachment to the land.
Sure.
But also he's the oldest son of his family, which means in Japan, you have to protect your farm, you have to protect your household. So he had that responsibility. But more than that, like born and raised here, he wanted to recreate Namie so people would feel welcome again. When they come back, that they would be happy again living here. He wanted to create that kind of environment.
The reason we're coming here is because it's famous for this horrific nuclear disaster. So what is your hope for Fukushima, like 10, 15, 20 years from now? Do you hope that that can be just one part of the story of Fukushima?
Absolutely, yes. There's a famous sociologist who used to study disasters and whatnot in Japan, and in her famous words, she said that when there's a disaster, the seeds of hope will always be found amongst those who are most affected. And I'm a firm believer in that.
Life, nature at its core is about regeneration. We live so that new generations can live. Flowers bloom and spread their seeds so new flowers can grow. It's a never-ending cycle. For me, Fukushima is both a beacon of hope and a warning. At the end of the day, nature is far more resilient than we are. If we fight nature with our pollution and overconsumption, it only ends one way. With us, hurting ourselves. But maybe we can use the power of nature to help solve our biggest challenge: carbon emissions. I have arrived on the magnificent island of St. Vincent in the Caribbean. I'm meeting a group of people, and they have an idea of using an ocean plant to store carbon. Okay. What are you drinking? What's going on?
Malt and ice, no Guinness.
So this is non-alcoholic.
Which is bad for you. It's pure rum, man. That's your imagination.
All right, I have to go find this guy. John.
John is a co-founder of Seafields, a science-based startup with huge ambitions.
It's kind of like, this could be a beautiful romantic comedy. Looking for my love. Where's John? John? Hey. This has been a movie romantic comedy, and I'm looking for my love. And Hi, Nikolaj.
Hey, great to meet you. How are you?
Nice to meet you. What are you doing here?
Looking at the sargassum that's washing up on the beaches.
Sargassum is this green, brownish algae with air bladders that allow it to float on the ocean surface.
Oh, so this is sargassum?
Yeah, that's the rotting, dying stuff. You can see the fresher stuff is a lighter colour. The dark red stuff is the stuff that's really dying. Yeah, so most of the sargassum is in the Sargasso Sea. The sargassum's been happily existing within there for thousands and thousands of years. And then in 2011, it escaped and has become what's now known as the Great Atlantic Sargassum Belt. This stuff doubles in size every 14 days.
Doubles in size?
Doubles in size, yeah. And it's now washing up on the beaches of the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Sometimes, you know, this is nothing, right? We're talking as high as a person. The seaweed will wash up on shore and it rots, it kills the turtles, this invasive seaweed.
But this is a new thing?
Yeah, it's a new thing because of climate change. So as we're putting more nutrients into the ocean, all these man-made fertilizers are going into the ocean, it's
kind of boosting.
Yeah, it's like turbocharging its growth, which is a massive problem, but could be a solution in the right circumstances.
That's because sargassum, through photosynthesis, can actually absorb CO2. Lots of it.
Sargassum stores whatever nutrients it finds as it finds them. So carbon is the one thing that it can get in abundance wherever it is, right? Because it's pulling it out of the surface layer of the ocean and photosynthesizing out of the air. The real opportunity is if you can gather a load of this stuff, shred it to pop the bladders, compact it down into a bale, and so you drop millions and millions of tons of this stuff to the bottom of the ocean, and you could potentially abate about a gigaton, which is 1 billion tons of CO2 every year. And it will stay down there for thousands and thousands of years.
It sounds almost too good to be true. To transform a massive problem into a solution. But will it work?
So you've always had good sea legs then?
Yeah, I've never got seasick, but that's not to say apparently some people develop it as they get older, so.
Oh, really? When we get out there, right, what should I expect?
The trial we're doing today is it's called a drift test. We're going to be putting the barrier of our sargassum haddock in the water with some sargassum. The first time we were out here, we couldn't get the barrier to stay open. It has to open up. That's the key to this. If it doesn't, then we're in trouble. And the whole trial's been a failure.
Hello.
Hello.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. Of course, that's how you say it. Ahoy. Hey. Hi.
Welcome.
Nice. Thank you, Nikolaj. Hello.
Hi, Francisca. I used to study coral reefs, and they're one of the first ecosystems to go when climate change is getting bad. And actually, anybody studying coral reefs now is more writing an obituary and just studying the decline of the reefs. So that's when I was looking for other alternatives where I can really make an impact in removing CO2. We're gonna release the barrier out there.
Is the barrier being what?
It's a seed paddock. So
Okay.
it's a paddock where we keep our sargassum in, have it growing and have an easy way of harvesting it. Do you want to be on the boat with
us?
Sure, absolutely. Okay. What could possibly go wrong? So, okay, I need to know now. Sharks?
There are some, but I don't think they'll bother us.
Oh.
Sure you.
He doesn't think they'll bother us.
So you have to design something that can work in all conditions. It's So this is our second version of the prototype.
Nikolaj and I are going to push the barrier open from the inside. Just see how it goes.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Just your feet. Sorry. Okay, so I just empty this out.
Yep. You start with a tiny little bit. Maybe more than this, but it doubles every 11 to 14 days in volume. So it just perpetually grows until it's so it takes up 100% of the barrier, and then we throw out maybe 90% and start over. And in a few weeks, you're full again.
Learn something new every day.
So this is a bale of sargassum. So as you saw before, the sargassum floats. So we have a special technique to make it not float anymore, to burst those air bladders. And then we compress it together in a bale, and this goes to the bottom of the ocean.
This is obviously a scaled-down bale. The real ones will probably be a couple of meters by about a meter, potentially even bigger than that.
1, 2, 3. Go.
There it goes.
Yeah.
So that should mean that it stays down there for potentially thousands of years.
You want to sit down? But that's not going to help. I want to get away from this place.
We do have seasickness tablets in our first aid kit.
Excuse me. Just wash your mouth. Just wash. Okay.
It's funny because I said going out here that I've only been seasick once in my life. Now I've been seasick twice in my life.
You still have enough energy to play ping pong.
This has given me great motivation to really destroy you all.
Also, we're traveling around the world and I try to find someone to play table tennis with everywhere. And do you have some talents?
Yes, I have a young man here who is supposed to represent the country in April in the Alba Games.
He's gonna beat the shit out of me, isn't he?
I hope not.
Well, I hope he will.
Take your time.
Hey. What's your name? I mean,
have a little match.
Whatever I can learn from you would be great.
I'm sure you will be able to do that.
That's just true. So you don't have to be nice. So Vincent against Denmark, come on, Denmark. Oh no, where am I going? Sorry. That's how you want to do it? Okay. Oh! It's time for the big comeback. That was not the way it was supposed to go. Well, thank you so much. I'm ready for the Greenlandic Championships.
Yes.
Okay, so in theory, it sounds quite simple.
Yeah.
Pack them, condense it, drop it to the ocean floor. Now, obviously, there's one thing that seems quite obvious in terms of challenges. We're talking massive scale. How would this turn a profit?
So you can sell the sunk carbon as carbon credits.
What is that?
So a carbon credit is when a company's unavoidable emissions. So as much as we might want to decarbonize, we'll still emit about 10 gigatons every year of unavoidable emissions. So those companies that can't get rid of those last bits they can then buy carbon credits off the market.
Because we've had these carbon credits also in the EU before. They tried to do it, and it turned into it became quite a corrupt system.
Yeah. One of the good things about our model is because we're sinking physical bales and you can actually see it, as it remineralizes in the deep ocean, so we'll be able to measure how much CO2 has been removed every year.
The spread of sargassum is out of control. Huge amounts end up on the beaches. But the idea that it can help our need to lower CO2 emissions is fantastic. But sargassum is not the only thing washing in with the tide. Humanity's footprint is literally everywhere.
The beach is covered in plastic. It's just everywhere. Single-use plastic. Yeah, we gotta do something about all this plastic. It's just ridiculous.
Over the last century, plastic has revolutionized our world. But to say we maybe got carried away in our love of plastics is an understatement. Around 50 billion plastic bottles are sold each year in the US alone. Globally, less than 10% of plastic waste is recycled. The rest is thrown out. I've arrived in Spain. I want to understand how we're dealing with plastic today and why we might be falling short.
It's not the first thing you think of when you go to Madrid. It's just, well, I'm going to Madrid, I guess. What are we doing? Let's go visit a recycling plant.
Nikolaj. Hey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Holy shit, you work out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So strong.
This is where we receive the waste.
Hello. Hola. Holy shit. Ugh. Is that from all of Madrid?
This is the reality, the ugly truth, right?
Yeah, the ugly truth.
And I'm gonna show you now the result of all this. After doing all that, what we produce are bales of different materials. And this is what the recyclers to take and to use as a raw material.
Hard plastic.
Yeah, these are all trash bins.
And what is the easiest thing to recycle when it comes to plastic?
PET, high-density plastics like this, right? The hardest part of this recycling process is the low-density plastics.
So that's like plastic bags?
Yeah, the plastic films, plastic bags. This is a big issue for us.
Yeah.
I'm sure the one who came up with it didn't imagine that this was going to be the future of our planet. That was going to be an island that's 3 times the size of France floating around the Pacific made out of plastic. It's like just saying it seems insane. How do you break it down without just creating more mess?
One answer might be to combine the power of science with the power of nature. Federica Bertoncini, a molecular biologist, has stumbled on a solution, thanks to her passion for bees.
All right.
Federica!
Careful, the bees, they are going around.
Okay. I just noticed that they follow you.
Yeah, they follow up to a certain point.
Jesus Christ, stay away.
Okay, so this is the suit, the gloves.
Oh, God. This is great. So anyone been stung today?
Not yet. So don't be the first.
Yeah, why the smoke?
Y hace, bueno, 2 millones de años, los que sean. Y antes había muchos incendios y mucho humo.
So when the bees sense the fire, they start eating. And when they eat, they cannot sting.
Oh, I see.
That's the logic behind it.
Okay, enough is enough.
Oh, here we go.
About 80,000 bees in this beehive.
80,000 bees. Oh, my God.
So I was a developmental biologist. It's always related to environment, animals, whatever is alive around me. And I used to be a beekeeper.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, the second box, where you already got the honey, you put in a storage room.
Yeah.
When spring starts, you want to put them back in the field. And I went, they were in my storage room, which happened to be my house, so temperature quite, pleasant.
Sure.
And they were plagued with worms. So these, for example, here, these are tunnels produced by the worm. These tunnels within the wax. So
Yeah.
I start cleaning them, put in a plastic bag, just to clean them. And then
So you put all the worms in a plastic bag,
and then
put the bag away.
put the plastic bag away there, and then after a while, I realized they were full of holes. When I saw the holes, I said, okay, hold on, let's see. It's mastication, it's just chewing, or there is a chemical modification.
Yeah.
And that's when the research started.
Oh.
Oh, all done? All done? You guys want to see this?
Oh,
There's a worm on there.
I've already got one.
Just stay there, stay still.
I'm staying so still, but it's moving now. There you go.
We can
One
grab
down.
some of these. Here.
All right. Oh, nice.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Here.
Yes.
You can grab it. Went inside.
There you go.
Here. They're fast also.
Very fast. It's surprising.
Okay.
All right.
Just plenty.
We're going to go to the lab with you.
Yeah.
And have a look and see what actually caused it.
Yeah. Yes.
I did hear that Scott got stung twice.
Yeah, we should go talk to Scott.
Oh,
He got stung twice.
Are you serious? Scott. I was just... Scott.
Yes, sir.
Did you get stung?
I did get stung.
Where? Ouch.
What's he?
There.
What's he?
There. I'm feeling fine. No, really.
Yeah. Cut.
While Scott gets some lotion for that sting, I'm on my way to meet Federica at her lab in the center of Madrid. I'm curious to see how the worms are doing.
Centro Investigaciones de Biological. God, I need to work on my Spanish. It's supposed to be the stairs here or there? Buenos dias.
Buenos días, buenos días.
The cameraman is pointing at this door. I have a feeling this could be the right place. Hello. Hello. Hi. It's Philip. Oh, hi. Oh, there you are. Hello, everybody. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I've been dreaming about worms.
Plenty.
Yes.
So this is the lab. This is the space. The other room is where we keep the air from yesterday.
Air from yesterday. Which
The one we put in the box. And this is the room actually where I keep the worms because they're in an incubator. They're warm. It's a bit dirty and it smells of wax.
it does smell.
So I put them here. You can see the back and the worms.
Wow. Oh yeah. Look at that.
These are the holes.
I mean, this is clearly impressive.
At first glance, it seems like the worms are just eating their way out of the bag. But a closer look shows that something in the worm's saliva naturally degrades the plastic.
Within the saliva, we identify two proteins, so we call them enzymes. Here, we're trying to produce the enzymes using yeast.
Yeast?
Yeast.
Okay.
You can use it in bacteria or yeast. You can produce them in a lab. These enzymes, we tried the enzymes on the plastics, and they degraded. Now, for the time being, we produce in small scale. It's a bit expensive, so we have to work on that, lower the cost and do it in large scale. But that's it. We have the enzymes.
With a partner, Federica founded the company Plastic Entropy to develop solutions based on her discovery.
What you need now, what is that?
It's funding.
This seems like such a no-brainer for investment. Like, it would seem like the potential is massive. Of course, the road is long, but you found something unique.
Yeah. What you need here is that big industry steps in. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Because you need investment, you need facility, you need equipment, it's infrastructure. They have all of that.
Yeah.
Petrochemical, the plastic converter, they have that. So we found enzymes, let's exploit it. Let's go to the bottom of it. There are technology to improve them, to make them more stable, last more powerful.
When you have your most optimistic moments, how do you see, like, 15, 20 years from now? What would the potential be in a perfect scenario?
If I say I'm going to degrade tons of plastic, it would be a bit unrealistic. You need to be realistic here. So my hope in this is to be able to have a solution that we can start applying as soon as possible. And the idea is to implement it. For example, you can have a family kit. You degrade your own plastics, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Remote situation, remote village, a place where you don't have a waste management facility close by. But then again, I'm aware that this solution, I mean, we have to have more solutions, not only one.
Yes. There you go.
Thanks.
What are the challenges you face when you go out with this?
Yeah. So my job here is to bring this amazing discovery to market.
Yeah.
And but we're not ready yet. We're still need some research to be done. So we need to find some seed money, some research money to keep going.
In the grand scheme of things, I'm imagining the investment you're not talking $1 billion, right? You're talking...
No, we're yeah, for now, like to finish the research, we're talking about 1 million, 1 million. We still haven't found the solution yet because talking with VCs, they want return on investment pretty quickly.
Next time you go to a meeting, bring that back in, put it down. Look. Look at that.
That's a good idea.
I think it's amazing how a little sweet worm contains so much power. A little bit of spit that can actually dissolve plastic.
Worms that can break down plastic are another example of nature holding solutions to some of our major challenges. How sometimes, even when we mess up, nature's resilience and healing powers can help us. And even though we've only been on this planet a fraction of its life, we are part of its ecosystem, and our actions have consequences for all life. And when those consequences turn negative, we have a responsibility to help. I'm on my way to one of the natural wonders of the world, the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. The coral reefs of the world are home to a quarter of all marine life. But as global warming worsens, rising sea temperatures severely threaten these once pristine ecosystems.
Sea simulation. And we're going to meet these scientists who are working on ways to understand the corals and hopefully find ways to protect the corals.
To solve the problem, we first need to understand it. Corals are underwater, and often deep underwater. But at CSIM, they found a way to get close and still stay safe.
What is the purpose?
The purpose is we can put cameras on these and then we can then do photos of the bottom. So in areas where it's too deep for divers or we have crocodiles and sharks, then we can put these down and they can do surveys for us. These will also go much deeper than a diver can.
Yeah.
So because the world's changing, we need to know what it's like now so we know how it's changing into the future.
Why the PlayStation remote?
Well, we were just talking about it before. It's actually the most, well, I'm not in a generation that played these things, but for the people that do, it's the most intuitive thing. And so you can just spin it around, spin it around the other way.
It's basically just the joystick?
Absolutely. And then dive is down, that is up.
So this one goes up and down, this goes forward. Is that? No?
Yep, back. So you get 4 degrees of motion. So the reason why we test them in the tank is because we need to know they're going to work when we get out to the sea. And also for this, we're also using it to ballast it. So that is to make sure it's neutrally buoyant in the water. That way it's not using too much energy.
I'm listening to everything you're saying. Oh, this is fun. And how long have you worked here?
I've been here about 30 years, so I'm an old timer.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a difference in terms of the awareness when it comes to these issues of climate change, of climate action, or not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I started, really, we didn't know much about the reef, so it was a discovery phase of the science. You know, what's out there, how does it work? Now it's really about how do we manage things. In fact, we're almost at the point of, well, how do we try and intervene to make a better future?
Yeah.
So in the same way that you might reforestate a forest that's been cut down, we are now trying the same sort of things with corals.
Yeah.
The health of the coral reefs is important to all of us, and this is an incredible facility that is dedicated to studying ways to save and preserve the coral reefs of the world.
Wow. Holy shit. Lon?
Hey, how you going?
Is it Lonnie or Lon?
Lonnie.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
I mean, this looks incredible, all this.
Yeah, we've tried to recreate all the conditions that you can see in the coral reefs so that we can do experiments which are replicating the natural reefs out there. So this is here to showcase what we want the reef to look like.
Wow.
So,
it looks incredible.
The biodiversity is insane. You've got 75 different species of coral in there. Very hard to find a reef like this out in the wild.
As in a plant nursery, one way they're helping the corals is by dividing bigger corals into smaller pieces that are then reintroduced to the reef, like little seedlings.
Carly.
Hi.
Yes, hello. Very nice to meet you. Pardon my wet hands.
No, of course.
So you want to have a look and maybe cut some corals up?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, let's bring this one along.
Okay.
Would you like to take it?
Yes.
Great. All right, and we'll walk you into room 10. Follow me.
You're not Australian.
I'm not.
Where do you come from?
America.
Yeah, no, America, but what part?
Washington, D.C. I took a holiday when I was a kid with my family to the reef in Hawaii. From that point on, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to protect this system. You want to tie that behind your neck?
Yes.
There you go. This is what we use to cut up the small fragments that we glue onto these sheets. So this is an adult coral.
Oh, wow.
You'll have the opportunity to cut it into small squares.
But it's alive, though.
Yep, they're alive, but they're colonial, so...
Sorry. But it's for, you know, you're helping your species.
Yes, and they're okay. They're actually more tolerant than you think.
Oh, am I doing it wrong?
No, that looks good. There you go. Very good. So most people don't know, but corals obviously are living animals, but they have a calcium carbonate skeleton. And so when you cut them, you can actually just super glue the skeleton, and that's how we attach the corals. There we go. And so our ultimate goal is to seed millions of corals out onto the reef every year.
Wow.
Cutting up corals is one way of helping the reef stay healthy. However, the best way by far is when the corals naturally reproduce through spawning. But corals spawn only once a year. Until now.
All right, where are we going now?
We're going to head down this way and then go to the special room that we built just for this project alone. Yeah, so growing coral on demand, I think, is really going to play a big role in restoring the reef. I'll turn the pumps off.
What they've been able to mimic here is the perfect combination of moonlight and sea temperature to trigger spawning. It's an incredible achievement.
And we have really fine control over all of these environmental variables that enable corals to spawn. What I want to show you is how we can have control. So I'm just going to turn these two off manually. And have you got your torch ready? Because it's going to be dark.
Yeah, we're ready.
These panels here are representing the bank of 4 lights over there.
Okay.
We can turn them off, and then we're going to try and turn on the moonlight, because what's really important on those spawning nights is the period of darkness between sunset and moonrise. So we've also manipulated the moonlight to suit when we want them to spawn. So if you click on that sunlight bank over there.
There you go.
All right, I'll get my red torch ready. Okay. When it's spawning night, this is what we're seeing just after sunset, before the moonlight comes on. So this is how we got to work around in these conditions. So if you look around, you can see this isn't going to impact the corals as well. We use red light, not white light, because we don't want to mess with that period of darkness. And you'll see a whole bunch of like white balls essentially trying to be pushed out through the coral.
Wow.
And if you see that, you know, oh, that coral's going to spawn tonight. So if you like, we can turn the moonlight on.
Let's get the moon going.
Get the moon going, get them in the mood.
Oh, wow.
So that is all of the bundles slowly rising up to the surface.
Wow.
So because they're positively buoyant. Look at that, brilliant.
Wow.
And each one of those is an egg and sperm packet. We're collecting them in the collection cups here, so just slicking off the top.
That's a magical moment, huh?
Oh, it's fantastic.
In 5-10 years down the line, and then everything was successful, you would also be able to scale this up.
You could scale this up and make millions of corals each year to be outplanted on the reef. And that would be the ultimate goal, where you have increased opportunity for restoration. It would be amazing.
No, that would be amazing. Are you hopeful? Do you believe that we can find the solutions?
Look, I'm an optimist because that's why you get up in the morning. There have been a lot of small changes that have happened, and that gives hope to the future. And I think that message, not of silly hope, but of constructive hope.
Sure.
Hope that actually is built on some things that they can see and feel.
Everyone I met at the labs was incredibly passionate about the job at hand, driven by real, tangible quests to save and preserve our coral reefs that are so important to all of life on Earth. Not least us.